The Mercury Dime, Mischief Night, 1916. The Mercury Dime, the creation of Adolf Wyman, was released to the masses. The depiction of the god Hermes, also known by Roman mythology as Mercury, was thought to be the cleverest of all gods, not only because of good fortune, commerce, and wealth, but because he was also known for trickery and thievery. Now, later, this god would also come to represent the deity of athletes and messenger due to his famed winged shoes. Now, it really helps the channel if you smash that like and leave a comment. And of course, if you haven't already done so, subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see more videos like this. Let's talk a little bit more about Mercury and who Mercury was. Now, Mercury's been around a lot longer than Greek and Roman times, at least since Sumeria, where he was referred to as God. And this was a god who was in charge of agriculture, purveyor of abundant harvest, and bringing the rains. He would also be known as Nebu, who was the son of Marduk in Babylonia. Now, Nebu was the scribe of the gods, and there go we have our first relationship to Mercury, who was the messenger. And this is where his job was to write down the laws and the edicts of Marduk, i.e., Zeus, right, and deliver them to mankind. Now, to the Egyptian, he was known as the god Thoth. Now, Thoth was also the god of the moon. He did sacred text, mathematics, and sciences, but he was also the messenger and the recorder of the deity. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if you look throughout history, the deities gained and lost jobs, but fundamentally they've been the same throughout the centuries. Now, Mercury, Hermes, I'll call him Mercury from now on, in relation to business, wealth, and Godspeed, was most likely the reason why Mr. Weinman chose this particular item, this particular deity for the coin. Plus, having a resemblance to freedom. So the winged shoes meant he could fly. Flying has always been related to freedom. And so, because of this relation to freedom and liberty, it's not hard to see why Mr. Weinman opted to go this route and choose this one for this particular coin. Now, if you don't already know, a little fun trivia coin fact, keep this one in your back pocket, is that Mr. Weinman was also the designer of the famed walking half dollar. So, if you're one of those trivia buffs, good piece of information to know. Mercury dimes. So let's talk about the coins themselves. They were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Their composition is 90% silver with a 10% copper. It contains 0.072 troy ounces of silver and weighs 2.5 grams. Now, the coin runs between 1916 and 1945, where it had kind of an unceremonious ending. Now, it was weird. They think that the coin was stopped because of production or in production because of issues with pay telephones and vending machines. They were getting stuck. They weren't able to go through because of their light nature. And this ended up leading to the development of the Roosevelt dime. A couple key things to look for when you're looking at the Mercury dime. And in this graphic, you're going to see the presence of wear on the high points. Now, many of you have heard about things like the designation of full torch, and that's going to be important to understand where these things wear down. All these things have to be visible in order to receive that designation. This just gives you kind of a good sample. You can also see on the obverse, there's a little area in the cheek that tends to wear down. And if you don't have those items present on a coin, you have a really nice specimen. Now, if you're collecting, so there are some key dates on this coin that you really need to pay attention to. Now, most of you probably already know these, but for the people that don't, I'm going to kind of run through them really quickly. First is going to be the 1916D. Now, this tops the list because of its low mintage of only 264,000. And you can expect to drop a pretty hefty sum for a really nice uncirculated condition. I mean, upwards of $9,000. I mean, you can really get into some hefty prices for a really nice specimen. But because of that, you really have to pay attention. You really have to watch for counterfeits. It's probably one of the most counterfeited dimes there is, simply because of the price that they fetch. So you're going to want to be making sure that when you go get something like this, that you buy from a reputable dealer. If you buy from somewhere like eBay, you're going to want to make sure you immediately take it to a trusted source and have the coin tested. If you're buying from eBay, this is just general good practice for anybody. Look at the information, look at the description, and make sure that returns are authorized. If you're buying a coin and they say no authorization or no return available, I would steer clear, especially if you're buying older coins. Um, don't buy from somebody who's not willing to take it back should you find out that it is a counterfeit. So, just kind of word of the wise. Next on the list is going to be the 1921 and the 1921D, respectively. They have mintages of 1.2 and 1 million. Now, it isn't as high on the rarity scale as the 1916D, but the dimes of 21 are very scarce. More likely, they should be called semi-key dates rather than key dates, simply because if you're comparing this to the counterpart of 1916D, there's just the miniatures are so far above. I mean, they're, it's 1916D is a quarter of what the 21 is. The last key date or the semi-key date in this series is also going to be the 1926S. And so there's some information there that you need to kind of keep in your back pocket when you're looking for these. Now, there are some errors in varieties. Now, I'm not going to go into all the varieties. If you want a variety, there's a couple different places that you can look at. But the kind of the key one is the 1942/1. So if you're looking for errors for the Mercury dime, that's probably the one you're going to want to look for. So as most of you know, I've recently started collecting these, the Mercury dimes. And it's important when you're looking at key date dimes that they're sought after by collectors everywhere, right? And I'm getting started late in the game. Some of these coins have been around for over 100 years. And if you wish to put together a complete selection of Mercury dimes and mint marks, you need to be kind of aware of what you're doing. It's impractical to think you're going to find these in circulation. I mean, you're not going to find these on a dime hunt. You're not going to be finding a 1960D in a coin roll hunt. You have probably more odds of winning the lottery than you do that. So why am I telling you that? Well, you have to have a clear set of expectations. They have to be realistic. I mean, you don't want to go into your box hunt thinking that you're going to fill your mark book. It's just most likely not realistic. Now, again, because of the rarity of some of these, you're going to want to watch for counterfeiting. Now, this is a general rule of thumb. If you're buying any coin, not just Mercury dimes, but any coin, you're going to want to make sure that you're having that coin tested. You're going to want to make sure that you do everything that you can to ensure that you're not buying a counterfeit. And your best bet of inadvertently buying one is to purchase from professional dealers, not just any dealers, but ones that you trust and those that have good reputation. But again, I don't care if you're buying from a good friend of yours. However, I would want to make sure that I'm getting what I'm paying for. And any coin dealer of any reputation would understand that. If they get offended by that, you may not want to be doing business with them. It's not meant to insult or degrade or belittle anybody. It's just all in the name of protection. Plus, it's a good practice. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope this little short video has been something of interest. Again, I stated this before, but if you like the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel if you smash that like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you liked tell me about your collection. If you have Mercury dimes in bags or things like that, look in the About Me on my page. There's a list of the ones that I need for my collection. If you have something that's on that list and you want to get in contact with me about either, giving it to me or selling it to me, then reach out to me and let me know. Again, my email is on my profile page. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frostbite. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care and God bless.